everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. If you can hear me, can you go to the bottom of your screen and either do question and answer, or I think you can raise a hand, something like that, just so that I know that you're here and that you can hear me okay. That's great, Jamie. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Peter. Hello from Aberdeen. Hello, Nazan. Okay. It's really good. It's nearly 2 o'clock, just a minute to go. So that's really good. I've done a little script just to let you know this is my first webinar. So very exciting for me. I've done a little script, so please forgive me if hearing you okay, Ken. That's great. So everyone can hear me. That's super. If you've got any questions during the webinar, just type them in and I'll get to them at the end. So what I'm planning to do is, I'm planning to do a little bit of chat, which will hopefully take about 15-20 minutes. I'm just looking at my lipstick, which is all over my chin. There we go. And then if you've got any questions, we'll come to them at the end. Just to let you know, I do work from home and I have got a little puppy, which we got just when lockdown started. So she's fast asleep at my feet at the moment. But if for any reason she gets up and needs out, I may need to let her out, because as you know, those of you that know that have puppies, you've got to let them out, you've got to let them out. Okay, so that's just 2 o'clock. Let's get started. First of all, thank you for attending. Difficult times. I think we're all finding it a bit strange, but the good thing is we are all in this together. So what I'm hoping to cover today is what's happened since COVID-19, since the lockdown on the 23rd of March. Believe that, the 23rd of March, lockdown started. And also moving forward, how we're going to cope with phase 2. I think we've been through phase 1, which I'm going to talk about first. How we're going to talk, then we're going to talk about phase 2. So the biggest thing I think that most businesses will be finding difficult just now is cash flow. We all know cash flow is king. And for some businesses, it's getting really real and very painful. There's been 3 main areas that I think that I want to talk about that the government has helped as such. One of them is CBILS, which is the Corona Business Interruption Loan Scheme, which everybody's now calling CBILS. Isn't it funny how everybody sort of makes acronyms of things? Furloughing and grants. So if we talk about CBILS first, because I think out of the 3 of them, this is the one that I don't think has been as much as a success as it should have been. And it's really not working for smaller businesses. And I don't think it's totally the bank's fault, because I think they're actually struggling to respond. And according to FSB, there are still about 15,000 applications that they're in the queue, that they're waiting to go through. I've had 2 of my clients have applied for CBILS and they've both been refused. But there was a big announcement on Tuesday. The Chancellor announced a change, and this is going to be bounce back loans, which is coming into effect on Monday. And what I know about bounce back loans so far is it's between £2,000 and £50,000, and it's 100% guarantee from the government. So that should ease some of the risk with the banks. They're also opening up the lenders. So at the moment, I think there's 50 lenders And I think from Monday, there's going to be 70 lenders, which is going to make a difference. And one of them is, who is it again? Let me just have a quick look. Because I wrote it down. I can't remember. Who is it? It will come back to me. Anyway, there's going to be more lenders, so that should make a difference. But I don't want to talk about CBILS today. I don't want to talk totally about CBILS today. I'm hoping to do another video, which I'll release next week, which will talk about the new bounce back loans, and I'll do a blog about that, and I'll send that out to everybody that's all my clients. And if you want to be included in any information that I'm sending out, just get in touch and I'll add you to the email list. The other thing is furloughing, which I think has actually been okay. I was expecting it to be really difficult. I was expecting that when HMRC opened the portal that it was going to crash and it was going to be horrendous. But out of all the clients that I've helped with furloughing, there's only one at the moment there's been a blip. And I've been told it's a technical blip and that HMRC are looking into it. They did phone at the beginning of the week and say that they've been inundated, and they will get back to me. So I don't think that's bad. And as far as I know, the clients that I've helped furlough last week have all got the money. So it seems to be working. The big thing with that is what happens beyond June, because we've got it till June at the moment, but what happens beyond June, and also what happens when we come out the other side. What happens with all the staff that you furloughed? If you're starting up in business again, are you going to be able to hire back all the staff that you had? And if you can't, what happens there? Now that's, to me, is an HR question, and what I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to do a webinar soon with an HR expert who might be able to answer some of those questions. And the third thing I was going to talk about was grants. Now I think it depends on which council you're with, the success of the grants, but I have to give a big shout out to Aberdeen City Council because I think they responded really well and they got the grants out really quickly. I know Aberdeen Shire isn't coping as well, and I think there's other councils around the country that aren't coping as well, but from my experience it seems to be okay. As I said, I've been trying to keep my clients up to date, so I've been sending out regular emails, but I'm more than happy to include anyone in the email. So if you're listening to this just now and you're not included in the email and you would like to be included, just get in touch. If you're listening to this on catch up and you would like to be included in the email, just get in touch and I'll include you. Because I think at the moment we're all in this together and we all need to help in any way we can. So moving forward into what I call phase 2. And I've spoken about cash flow already in a video that I've done and in a blog that I've done. So please feel free to go and listen and read to them. But I think at the moment, as a business, you need to be concentrating on certain key figures. And cash flow, key numbers, cash flow is part of that. But there are also other key numbers that I think you need to be concentrating on. And I think just now, when we're all at home and lockdown's happening, it's an ideal time for you to be reviewing your business. Looking at, asking the question, if I started again tomorrow, what have I learned and what would I do differently? And what do I know now that I didn't know then? One of the things that you can be looking at is your numbers. You can be looking at your cash days. That is, how long does it take you for the money to go through your business? From the date of the sale to actually getting the money in your bank. Like I say, I've covered that in the cash flow video, so please go and have a look at it. But it's something you really need to get a handle on. Cash flow is king at the moment. And if customers still owe you money, you need to be reviewing how you're going to get paid from them, because they're in the same situation as you. And the worrying thing is, the longer lockdown continues, the more reluctant businesses will be to pay. And I think the larger businesses are now caught on to this and are now sort of holding on to their money a bit longer, because they don't know when lockdown is going to finish. So you need to be looking at your revenue streams. Revenue. So how has your business grown? How's your business grown from this time last year? Obviously in April, a bit of a disaster, but up to the end of March, how did it grow quarter on quarter? Something you should be reviewing on a regular basis. And if you haven't reviewed, you need to go back and review it. You need to look at the percentage change. Did your turnover go up? Did it go down? Why did it go up? Why did it go down? It's something that you really need to get a handle on. What I tend to do with my clients is when I do their VAT return, which is once a quarter, I will look at that, and if there's anything that looks a bit peculiar or we need to talk about anything, then we talk about it. But if you're looking at it during lockdown, it's something that you maybe need to be thinking about when you come out the other side. Gross profit percentage. What's your margin, and where are you making the best margin? Now, sometimes you can surprise yourself, because sometimes the things that you think are the best sellers, when you actually look at the margins, they're not the best sellers, and the things that you think aren't the best sellers are. If it's not products you're selling and it's clients you're dealing with, who are your best clients? And sometimes that can surprise you. Something you need to be looking at, and you've got the time now to look at it. Overheads. Hopefully when you first went into lockdown, you'll have had a good look at your overheads, your costs, and delayed as much as possible. I've got a list of difficult questions that you should be asking yourself that hopefully you've already maybe asked yourself anyway. Can you reduce your overheads? How can you go about doing that? Can you talk to the people that you rent the premises from? Rates. I know that Aberdeen City Council are saying that you can have a holiday for 2 months for rates. It's a bit of a switch really, because you only pay over 10 months. So instead of paying April and May, you're now paying June till March sort of thing. Can you delay any capital expenditure? Do you really need to be buying any capital expenditure just now? And if you do, can you finance it? Do you actually need to spend cash? Can you actually find a way of financing the capital purchases? How much less will you sell over the coming period? I mean, April's, for some of you, April will be difficult because income will have stopped automatically. If you're a pub or a restaurant or something, you just won't have any income coming in unless you're thinking outside the box. But how much less will you sell? You need to be thinking about that over the next May, June, maybe even longer. So even when the lockdown lifts, things aren't going to get to suddenly go back to normal. You need to be thinking, how much less will you sell? Will you lose any customers? And are some of the customers that you're dealing with just now, are they going to go under? Are they not going to survive? Will you lose them? And if you lose them, how are you going to cope? And is there any way you can help? Can you offer discounts to keep customers? Will your customers pay slower, or will they not pay at all? Something you need to think about. Maybe extend the credit terms that you offer to customers. Will you incur extra costs to provide your services or products? You might actually find that your costs are coming down. You might find that because everyone's working from home, that your costs are coming down, and you might actually find that that works for you as a business. And when you come out the lockdown, you might decide, okay, we're not going to go back to a conventional office situation because it's working for us. What costs can you reduce that aren't necessary? Can your staff go part-time on a part-time salary? Furloughing your staff, that's another thing. I was speaking to a client today who has furloughed some of their staff, but has also kept some of the staff because he's still operating. He does training and he's doing online training. But what the staff that he's kept, he's asked them to reduce their salary during this period, and they've all agreed. If you've got supplier payment terms, are you actually using them? Because sometimes, you pay 30 days. And you've maybe got supplier payment terms that allow you 60 days. So use what you've got. Stock. Have you got stock that you're sitting on that you can maybe be getting rid of? Can you do a big sale? Do you need to reorder stock, or can you delay it? How can you raise sales invoices as soon as possible with work in progress? Have you got work in progress sitting that you can maybe sort of clear, get out, get the sales invoices out? It's important to action what you've just discovered. So once you've gone through all these questions, there's no point in going through all the questions and going, all right, okay, and then not doing anything about it. You need to make sure that you then action what you've discovered. Cancel the direct debits, apply for payment holidays, raise the invoice, inform customers of new terms. At the end of the day, you can only control the controllables. Circumstances are changing every day, and you need to keep on top of the controllables that are in front of you today. There's no point in worrying about tomorrow. Think about today. So the next thing I think you should be thinking about is a vision. Prioritize your activities under important and urgent, and do the urgent things first. You need to establish a better vision of the future, and that's difficult just now because we don't actually know what the future holds. It can seem hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but everything will pass eventually, and you will need an action plan to come out the other side. So do you have systems in place for recovery? What resources will you need? What systems will you need in place to revert back to post-social distancing? What processes have you made more slick due to the remote working? List the positives and the negatives and prepare for post-isolation. The next thing you need to be doing is get creative. This is where I think the businesses that will survive is because they've become creative. The government instructions have caused a lot of disruption for many businesses, but now is the time to think outside the box. Where are you getting your income from? You'll be remembered by your customers by how you adapt and react to these tricky times. Look after your best customer. I know that sounds daft, but look after your best customer. Show them that they are valuable to you, and show them that you're valuable to them. Consider new ways to deliver your service. Now, we've seen this already because we've seen a lot of restaurants are now doing takeaways. And like I say, this chap that does training, he's now doing online training. But you can also do things like you can deliver your service through email, virtual web-based services like I'm doing just now. Do webinars, offer discounts. A lot of businesses also, do you have an online community? If you don't have an online community, think about it. You must have done social media in the past. You must have an online community. Nazan, who has helped me do this webinar, who helps me with my videos and my blogs and everything. She's Aberdeen Digital Marketing. She's helping me a lot just now, and she has helped me a lot. And I'm sure she'd be more than willing to help you. So drop me an email and I'll put you in contact with her. Marketing is important just now. Social media, email people, get onto LinkedIn, post, Facebook, find out where your customers are, and get your name out there, so that when we come out the other side, people will remember you. People will go, oh yeah, I remember Susan Crichton. She was doing all those videos and she was doing the webinars and things. And my accountant did absolutely nothing. I didn't get anything from them. I think I might try her out. Fingers crossed, eh? Use your social media presence to keep your customers up to date. If they know what you're up to, then it's better. Now's the time to keep them informed. Implement a newsletter. Just keep them up to date. You'd be surprised at how I get a lot of feedback from my clients saying it's just great that you've let us know about this, that, and the next thing. People are grateful. So once you've done all that, you need an action plan. And the first thing you need to realise is you're not alone in this. Family and friends are all going through this too. So for goodness sake, don't shut yourself away. Talk to your network. Like I said, get your name out there. Get some social media going. You may discover that you can work together. I've never found it so as other accountants. Other accountants don't tend to interact, and just now it's fantastic. Everyone seems to be working together. Everybody seems to want to help each other as far as the accountancy profession is concerned. And I'm sure whatever business you're in, the same will be happening there. People don't no longer see it as a competitor. Create an action plan and seek support, especially from your business advisors. The government are offering many different types of support, and you need to make sure you're taking advantage of them. Talk to your accountant. They're your best friend at the moment. They'll know what is available, what's out there, and they'll help you put an action plan in place. Like I said, make sure to communicate clearly and consistently with your customers. If you're open for business, make sure they know that you're open for business and how to interact with your organisation. I mean, they might think you're shut. If you don't tell them that you're open, how do they know? Make it easy for them to purchase your products and services. What resonates with your customer right now, and can you provide it? And like I said, look after your best customer. May seem a bit blunt, but it's crucial just now. Unfortunately, now is the time to ensure that you're not emotional when making business decisions, so that you can lead your business through COVID-19. Should discounts or payment holidays apply to all your customers? Difficult decision, but it's something you need to think about. Will this relationship last out with the virus? There's obviously a humane limit to the ruthlessness, but make sure you're thinking about you, your business, and your cash flow and funding the gap, and be realistic to what you can offer. The next thing is breathe. For goodness sake, breathe. Mental health is so important in these uncertain times, and we all have up days and down days. I know I have up days and down days. I miss interacting with people. This isn't the same for me. We're spending more and more time at home, so it's important to find ways to remain active, and exercise is important. Obviously, there is a lot of stress just now with everything that's going on, but don't forget the benefits of exercise. In exceptional circumstances like these, it may feel and be necessary at times to work solidly for days on end. Now, when you're working from home, it's dead easy. You're not sleeping, so you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and you think, oh, well, I'll just sit down at the computer and work. Before you know it, it's 6 o'clock at night, and that's all you've done. You've sat in front of your computer. That would be great, wouldn't it? In a certain way, that would be great, because it means that you're working. But you must also take breaks. And you need them for your mind and your body. You need your mind and body to rest and recover. If you carry on like that for days and days and days on end, when we come out the other side, you'll be absolutely exhausted. You'll be fit for nobody. So take breaks. Get up from your desk, go to another room, have your lunch in the living room instead of sitting in the dining room like with me. Meditate. I'm a great believer in meditate. Meditate for 10, 20 minutes. Go for a walk. We're all allowed to go outside for a walk. Go for a walk. It's great for clearing your head. I've got a puppy, so I've got to go out for a walk. Just round the block. It's fantastic. And you know what? Sometimes when you're out for a walk and you're away from your desk, that's when the solutions come. You might have been banging your head against a brick wall going, how the hell am I going to get through this sort of thing? Out for a walk and you go, well, wait a minute, I could do this, I could do that. Go out for a walk, look after yourselves. Finally, and I'm close, I realise that I've been blethering on too much. In terms of planning, while it does seem somewhat ridiculous to plan for a long-term future, especially when we don't know when the future is going to happen, we have to realise this is not going to last forever. And it's important to action, to discuss a plan of action for coming out of the crisis. Whilst it may seem all doom and gloom at the moment, you will need a game plan for the future, whether that's in 4 weeks, 8 weeks, or 12 weeks. Okay? Right, questions. I'm self-employed and don't have premises or staff. What is available for me? So unfortunately, you're one of the ones that fall through the cracks in the pavement. And you have to rely on the grant that's coming out in June for the self-employed people. It doesn't come out till June though. So what do you do in the meantime? I'm saying to a lot of my clients that are like this, apply for universal credit. Don't be proud, apply for universal credit. I know it doesn't sort of work for everyone, because if you've got a partner who's working, often you don't get it, but try. Ken said to me, Funding Circle, well done Ken, that's who it was. I couldn't remember the name, it's Funding Circle. They're going to be on the bounce back scheme, which is great. And if you've been refused already through CBILS, don't take it as that's it. You're not going to get any other. You can apply for somebody else. They are saying go to your bank first, because you've got a relationship manager at the bank and they should know you best. So try them first. But if you get refused from them, there are other places. And if you need an introduction to someone, just get in touch with me and I'll put you in touch with some lenders that I know. I was speaking to Capitalise this morning, and I was also speaking to Funding Exchange, and they were both very helpful. So yeah, get in touch. What happens to my staff after furlough? Yeah, exactly. What happens to your staff after furlough? Because, like I say, I was speaking to this client this morning who's furloughed 4 of his staff. The rest of the staff he's asked to go sort of kind of part-time, and he's reduced their wages. But the 4 staff that he's furloughed, I don't know whether he's going to have them back. That's the truth. It's a business decision. I don't know if he's going to have them back. Because I don't know, and I don't think he knows whether he's going to have the capability to pay them when we come out the other side. Because it's like I say, it's not going to happen overnight. We're not suddenly going to open the doors and it's going to be money, 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 money. It's not going to be like that. Plus the fact you're going to have your landlord who's going to say, well, you haven't paid your rent for the first 3 months, you know, I want it back. You're going to have the rates people going to be saying, blah, blah, blah. So it is going to be difficult. I think it's an HR question, because I think you're going to have to make them redundant. And like I say, I'm not an HR expert, but I am hoping that my next webinar will be with a HR expert who will be able to answer those questions. So That's us nearly coming up till 2:30. I want to say, no more questions? That's great. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're listening to this on catch up, thanks very much for listening. I just want to say, most importantly, remember that we're all in this together. We are stronger together, and we will beat this together. Stay home and protect the NHS. Save lives. Thanks very much for joining me. Bye.